Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reacting and reviewing. And you're probably thinking to yourself, after looking at the title, I thought you were doing the movie Blu-ray that you were going to do next. True, I did. I did mention that on my Facebook page, but that was until a friend of mine let me borrow a movie that I had a somewhat interest since it was first announced. Tonight's movie came out this year, and its name is Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery. Now, when this movie was first announced, I was like, what? And lo and behold, it was made. A friend of mine, as I said, let me borrow this, which I will give the shout out at the end of the video. But, yeah. After seeing the trailer, I gained some more interest, so... But since it came out, I'd never gone on to seeing it. But, so will this... because, like everyone, I did grow up watching Scooby-Doo as many, and as well as watched WWE from back in the day when it was still called WWF, and it had its share of, and it did have a cartoon back in the day called Hulk Hogan's Rock and Roll Wrestling. But this is the first animated film to feature both Scooby-Doo and the superstars and one diva of WWE. But will this be any good, or will it just be an absolute piece of garbage? But I won't know unless I shut up, hit play, and see myself. So with that said, grab some to... Hang on. How to find out. Grab something to drink. Sorry about that. And without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery. Wait, so there's a WWE City now? Okay. I thought that the storyline from WWE Crush Hour was obscure when Vince McMahon bought over every TV station, but now WWE City. Is this why the writers from WWE should not get involved with an iconic cartoon character? Because otherwise, stuff like this will happen. And is it just me, or does Miz kind of look like Bruce Wayne from Batman the Animated Series? I'm just saying. Wait. Scooby and Shaggy just beat a wrestling game on the hardest difficulty, and they win a prize to go to WWE City and go to WrestleMania. And you want to know how he did it? Because Scooby did the victory dance in a game. Does anyone here remember that mini game from WWE 2K14 where if you beat John Cena with Sin Cara on the hard difficulty and do a victory dance to win tickets to a WWE show? Neither do I! Right, I think the production of this started before Big Show turned face again, because we have a tag team match with Big Show and Alberto Del Rio versus Cena and Sin Cara. And as you can probably hear, we've got Michael Cole on commentary. Yeah, he's the only commentator there. I mean, there's no... And Lawler's not even there. And I just saw Big Show hit John Cena with a picnic table. I'm just gonna assume that's the no DQ match, but I doubt Big Show would be that strong enough to hold a picnic table. Then again, why the fuck would they have a picnic table? But I will say that the moves they're doing are accurate to what you see on TV. Okay, so let's see if I got this right. That the legendary this Ghost Bear has been terrorizing WWE City is said to rise beyond the grave to challenge the superstars of WWE.
My main concern is the championship belt. Not only is it worth a fortune, but WrestleMania wouldn't be the same without it.
Excuse me, sir, but we don't need these kids meddling in such...
I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. Because I mean, yeah, it's Scooby-Doo. So you can't really make any logic out of it because, well, because if you watched one Scooby-Doo episode, you know them all.
Awesome, because I think there's someone you should.
But yeah, and there's also still this whole thing where Kane. I'm still yet to see what part he'll play in this. Right, so in WWE say by law, if you commit a crime, you can win your innocence by competing in a match. And now Shaggy and Scooby are being made to face Kane in a handicap match.
We'll kick off WrestleMania tomorrow night.
This is what happens when you have too much creative power. Seriously. I know Vince McMahon's rich, but being able to have your own say and make up the laws, like winning your innocence after a crime by winning by competing in a match.
We only have until tomorrow before Shaggy and Scooby get slaughtered. Hello. Thanks, Fred.
What the fuck was this man smoking when he thought when he thought buying his own city was a good idea? Wait, the girls from Young Justice made a cameo? I never actually saw Young Justice, but I did not expect them to make a cameo appearance in this. Because I noticed well, one of them was called Supergirl, but I guess that's a pretty neat cameo, I suppose. Unexpected, then not sure the point, but well, but then again, Warner Brothers does own the rights to the DC animated universe, so I guess they can pretty much do whatever they want with it. You know, I never thought I would see the day that Kane would be. There could be a high chance that Kane could end up losing to Scooby-Doo. whilst the Ghost Bear, oh, here's Sergeant Slaughter and Jerry Lawler. Well, a Ghost Bear is on the loose, which I think is pretty obvious who it is, because, well, Scooby-Doo don't exactly have the, aren't exactly have over-complex mysteries, because, well, and it's been that way since the, I want to say late 60s, early 70s, when Scooby-Doo first appeared. It's been years since I watched the old cartoons, so I can't remember for the life of me. Okay, that was Scooby-Doo WrestleMania Mystery. Let's stop to that. And now we'll go on to the review portion. So, was this any good? Surprisingly, yeah, that was pretty decent. And for reasons we'll go into. First off, let's go on to the writing. The writing is pretty much what you would expect if you were to merge an episode of Scooby-Doo with a WWE storyline, in which Scooby and the gang went a trip to WWE City to attend WrestleMania, but then eventually a mystery comes up of a so-called legendary Ghost Bear, who's said to have rise from the grave to take on any challengers, being the superstars of WWE, which, well, at the same time, there was a little subplot with an original character called Ruben, whose father is against him becoming a wrestler. And for the movie, you do get the occasional, the traditional Scooby-Doo hijinks and comedy, and as well as some fairly almost accurate portrayals of wrestling moves. Though the one thing I don't understand that is that Sin Cara can communicate by doing like luchador poses, which according to Cena is apparently his language, which he uses to communicate. Apparently they wouldn't allow Sin Cara to speak his lines in Spanish and have someone translate. But oh well. And for you do get to see the like a few Easter eggs related to the WWE, like there's cameos of Sergeant Slaughter, the Mouth of Jimmy Hart, Jerry King Lawler, who eventually shows up, but isn't on commentary with Michael Cole. Try wrapping your head around that. And as well as I said, there was a cameo appearance of from what I can recognise are characters from the cartoon series Young Justice, which I've never actually seen, which I should, but I heard it to be pretty good, even though it was unfortunately cancelled. But it was pretty nice. So yeah, writing's pretty good. Acting. Well, for the main Scooby-Doo gang, out of the five, one of the original voice actors reprised his role, which is the legendary Frank Welker as Fred Jones, which to this day can still put off the voice for Fred and show no signs of aging or losing his touch. And I think it's absolutely amazing that a guy like Frank Welker is that dedicated to the role. You, my good sir, are a legend, and I hope you still continue to do voice acting for years to come. As for the rest of the cast, Greta Lyle voices Daphne, and Matthew Lizard voices Shaggy Rogers. I can't remember who voices Scooby. I know his voice has changed over the years, because I think he's on his third voice actor by now. I can't remember, but I think it's third or fourth. But the guy who voiced Shaggy, Matthew Lizard, he did a pretty good job taking over from the late Casey Kasem. Rest in peace, buddy. So the people who did the voices of Mystery Incorporated have done a good performance. And as for the W Superstars and Divas, they were voiced by their real life counterparts, which include the likes of John Cena, The Miz, Santino Marella, Brodus Clay, AJ Lee, Vince McMahon, Triple H, Kane. I think that's all the ones that had like speaking roles. The rest of the superstars you see in this only cameos, which were Big Show, Alberto Del Rio, Sandra Slaughter, or Jerry Lawler, Jimmy Hart, and I think Kofi made a short appearance, but at the time this was made, maybe I asked the same question as everyone else asked. Where was CM Punk? CM Punk should have been in this. And if they were including like Hall of Famers, why didn't they should have had Stone Cold made a cameo. That would have been fucking awesome. But I guess I can't have them all, I suppose. So voice acting was really good. Music. Well, the soundtrack does include the theme songs for which the stars are in this, as well as some of those original pieces, which sets the tone for Scooby-Doo. So music fits perfectly with it. Wow. I'm actually quite surprised I'm actually praising a movie like this, because I was very skeptical about this, but as it turns out, it's fairly decent. So with that said, can I recommend this movie? if you're a fan of WWE and so happen to have a soft spot for Scooby-Doo, I'd say, yeah, I'd say check it out. This movie is available on DVD only if you're in the United Kingdom, because we never got the Blu-ray. And you can find it fairly cheap from places like HMV, Tesco, or online on places like Amazon or Play.com. And who knows, maybe it may turn up on Netflix eventually. Now, as I said at the start of the video, this was lended to me by a friend. That friend who lended this to me was my friend Ewan, which I will leave a link to his channel here so you can check out his stuff. Which, dude, if you're watching, thank you for letting me check this out. I really do appreciate it. And with that, we come to another reaction and reviewing. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And as always, if it's something you want me to check out, then let me know in the asshole. And until next time, this is Adam 100 signing out. Later.